Okay, we're going to talk about emotions and emotional processing. Everybody experiences emotions. Everybody. I know I have men clients out there who think they don't, but we all experience emotions. And we need to be able to learn how to manage, allow, and process those emotions so that we can be in control of our lives and that we can use emotions to help enrich our lives instead of derail our lives. So, I want to talk about emotional processing. When an emotion arises, and that's a feeling in your body, maybe it's a tight chest, a clenched stomach, increased heart rate, however it manifests, when you're feeling an emotion in your body, it's a perfectly normal human response. Okay. Emotions happen, they're part of being human. We can do several things. Like different people have different go-to responses to when they feel these emotions. And I want to walk through some, and I want you to consider which one you tend to do. So one is you react. You blow a gasket, you yell, you scream, you cry, you sigh, whatever it may be. You react. This tends to be like the classic temper tantrum you see toddlers doing. They're reacting to their emotions. Another thing you can do, and this is very common with many clients I work with, is ignore the emotion, pretend it's not happening, think that emotions are a problem and that they should go away. So you ignore them and you just put them on a back shelf and you keep packing them into that back shelf, brushing them under the rug. You ignore them. This is certainly what I was taught in my family of origin. It's not going to do you any good. We don't need to see that. We don't want to hear that. We ignore emotions. Another thing is to resist them. Think about like a beach ball, holding it under the water, resisting it. This shouldn't be happening to me. This isn't fair. I can't deal with this right now. These are all signs that you're resisting your emotional state. Sometimes when we're ignoring or resisting, we tend to buffer. And when I use that term, what I mean is we numb or distract ourselves from the emotion using something that creates dopamine. This might be sugar, food, drinking, smoking, drugs, shopping, overworking, social media, anything where we're over consuming something, Netflix, when we're trying to numb or distract ourselves from feeling an emotion. And then finally, we can process that emotion. We can allow it, we can feel it, we can let it process through our body. And that's what I want to talk about more in depth in this little video. Is I want to talk about how to process, because you're probably pretty good at the other ones I already described. You're probably pretty good at reacting or ignoring or resisting or buffering. But I want to talk about how to process emotions better. I like to think about it this way, and this is a very simplistic, reductive way. So if you're a scientist, I recognize this is simple, but it can be an effective way to understand emotional processing. In your brain, you have a thought. It's like an electrical impulse is happening in your brain. Chemicals are released into your body. Cortisol, dopamine, whatever they are, any number of chemicals or combination of chemicals are released into your body. And now you're experiencing an emotion. And I want you to be able to learn to process through that and to work through that emotion so that those chemicals can work through and be released from your body. And there are any number of ways to do that. I'm just going to offer you some ideas here in this video. But one way to do that is we allow the emotion, we sit with it, we don't judge it, we don't criticize it, we don't rush it, we don't talk ourselves out of it. We just see it, allow it, feel it. Like we allow this to be how we're feeling and what we're experiencing. Now, mind you, this isn't reacting, and this isn't ignoring, and this isn't distracting. We're with the emotion, and then it will process. Studies say it's like max 90 seconds before that emotion will process. Now, that doesn't mean another wave won't come, but then you can process that as well. And you sit with it. You allow it to be there. power of this is once you allow that emotion to process, and I'll give you some more tips and tools in a minute on how to do that. But once you allow that emotion to process and work through you, you have access to your executive functioning of your brain again. You have access to your prefrontal cortex. It comes back online more fully. You have more access to it because your brain isn't so caught up in the emotional situation you're experiencing. And so you have so much more capability to deal with whatever it is you're facing that caused the emotion in the first place. This is why I'm a big fan of emotional processing, is because I want you to be able to use your full executive functioning power. I want you to be able to tap into your full brilliance and wisdom to be able to deal with whatever it is that's happening in your life. So I want you to be able to process those emotions so that you can face and deal with your utmost capacity what it is that caused them. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about feeling and processing. Again, this can look different ways for different people. So here are some ideas to try on as you learn how to develop this skill for yourself. Something I like to do is I like to just focus on where that feeling is in my body. It's often in my chest for me, it might be in your stomach, it might be in your jaw, your temple, wherever it is for you. I like to focus on that feeling and I like to just describe to myself what it is I'm feeling. And this helps me get into my body and allow and not resist what I'm feeling because I'm not in my head judging it or rushing it. I'm just feeling it. And I might describe, it feels like a ball in my chest. It's dense, it's heavy, it's holding still. Um, and there's a weight to it that's spreading down my shoulders and down my arms. Like this might be a way of describing to yourself what it is you're feeling. And as you're able to describe that from sort of this clinical point of view, you're feeling it. You're allowing it. You're experiencing the emotion. So that can be a helpful tool. Some people like to do this with somebody else. Some people like to write this out and to journal about what they're feeling. The primary purpose is to sit with, be with, and allow that emotion to be in your body for however long it needs to be there. Let it work through your system. I said it usually takes about 90 seconds. I want to be cautious with that. It's because sometimes emotions just keep coming up and coming up and coming up. So we need to sit with the the new wave of the emotion for a day or two, and we can do this. Our human bodies are designed to feel and manage our emotions. It is not the end of the world. We can do this, and they will pass. They will work through us. We will be able to move on and experience other emotions. Okay, I hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. I'm wishing you the very best.